Hey guys, John V here from Phone Arena. You're watching our in-depth video review of the LG Nitro HD. It's actually the third 4G LTE smartphone for AT&T. It follows after the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket and the HTC Vivid. It's priced also at $249.99, the 2-year contract, so it's the same price point as the Skyrocket. And some of its standout features include a 4.5-inch 720p True HD IPS display and a dual-core 1.5 GHz processor. Although there's nothing spectacular with the overall design of the LG Nitro HD, the biggest thing that stands out for us is its lightweight feel in the hand. It's actually the lightest out of the three 4G LTE smartphones. It's also pretty streamlined. It's not as wide as the Galaxy S2 Skyrocket when you hold it in the hand, so it's much easier. And even though it uses the plastic casing, we do like the pattern design in the back. It gives it a good rigidity, a little bit slick feel, and it keeps it looking clean at all times. All in all, it's a decent build. One of the standout highlights about the LG Nitro HD is that it packs a 4.5-inch True HD 720p IPS display, so that's 720 by 1280 pixels. When you break it down and do the math, it equals to a pixel density of 329 ppi, which makes it one of the most detailed displays on the market. Definitely nice looking for things like fine text in the web browser, very legible. It's actually only noticeable when you look at the device up close, but when you compare this to something like a QHD display, your eyes aren't going to really notice it if you're like a foot away from the device. But still, it offers superior detail versus the competition out there. And seeing that it is an IPS panel, we definitely like the fact that it produces some realistic looking colors as opposed to the overly saturated tones that are usually associated with AMOLED displays. On top of that, good brightness output, wide viewing angles, it maintains its clarity in all lighting conditions, so it's definitely one of the lovely things about the device. Since there are only 3 capacitive buttons, we didn't have any issues accidentally pressing them. With the menu button, it combines with the search button by holding it down. Above the display, you have the earpiece and, of course, the front-facing 1.3 megapixel camera. On the left edge, we only find the volume rocker. It's sticking out, has a good feel to it, and also a tactile response. On the top edge of the phone, we find the 3.5mm headset jack, the noise cancellation microphone, the dedicated power button, which is a little bit on the flat side, but at least has a good clicky feel. Micro USB port for data and charging connectivity, and if you use an MHL adapter, you also gain video out connectivity. Lastly, there's an 8-megapixel autofocus camera with LED flash in the back, which has the ability to shoot 1080p videos. Removing the back cover, you just yank off the plastic cover. You gain access to its SIM card slot, micro SD card slot. There's a 16GB card in there, and also its 1830 mAh battery. Just like some of the recent LG Android-powered smartphones, the LG Nitro HD features the Optimus skin running on top of Android 2.3 gingerbread. There's nothing really new about it. Still the same thing we've seen before. The neat thing about it is that you could customize the widgets. You could change them to different lengths, better layout, of course. If you do a pinch gesture, you get all the home screens at once, so you can better view them all. And various widgets, of course, which are definitely useful, like the email one right there, the social networking one right here, the weather one, and with the home panel, the app panel is actually laid out in traditional grid-like view. You could snap the layouts here, so you can get better visibility. And on top of that, the other thing that we like about it is that now there's an option here for layout, which allows you to set 4 predefined themes here for travel, work, and play, so it could better organize to your specific needs. As much as we're thrilled to find the LG Nitro HD running a dual-core 1.5 GHz processor coupled with 1GB RAM, unfortunately its performance is a little bit sluggish at times, especially with the live wallpaper. We also notice other things like kinetic scrolling. Sometimes it looks a little bit choppy. Other times its movement's pretty good. As far as other basic operations like opening up applications, it does a pretty good job, but it doesn't quite exhibit the same fluid nature that we find with other devices like the Samsung Galaxy S2. Combining its screen size and its dual-core 1.5 GHz processor, the messaging experience on the LG Nitro HD is fantastic thanks to the spacious keyboard, both portrait and also landscape, and its responsiveness in keeping up with our rate of input, so we didn't have any issues as far as typing up long messages. Whether you use the Gmail application or the regular emailing one, the overall experience is going to be great, just because with the size of the display, there's a lot of stuff it could show on screen, so there's less scrolling. And as far as setup, it's relatively easy. Just your username and password, and automatically will set up. There's no kidding that we're curious to know what kind of speeds the handset's able to obtain on 4G LTE connectivity, but in the meantime, seeing that we're only on HSPA+, we're more than content with the overall speeds we're given. As you can tell with download speeds, it gets up to as much as 11.27 megabits per second. Meanwhile, upload speeds are rather, more like a 3G connection at 1.5 megabits per second on the average, but download speeds pretty good, so it all makes you wonder how much better it's going to be on 4G LTE. As far as the overall web browsing experience, it's decent. Unfortunately, though, it is marred by a little bit of choppiness with its movement. When there's a lot of Flash content, you definitely notice some choppiness with it, but still more than usable. We definitely like the music player interface found on the LG Nitro HD. It just has this really nice 3D effect as you're browsing through albums. Very eye-catchy with its visuals, but in portrait, it's much like any other Android-powered smartphone. It just has your album cover, track information, and even the on-screen controls. Unfortunately, there are no equalizer settings. As far as the audio quality is concerned, it's rather average, not the strongest out there, and luckily, it doesn't crackle at the loudest volume setting. Now, if you love watching videos, of course, the LG Nitro HD is going to offer a fantastic experience just because of the size of the display, the IPS panel it's using. It just offers for a great experience. The video we have here is encoded in DivX 1920 by 1080 resolution, so 1080p. As you can tell, a lot of clear details, deep colors, it's moving at a fast frame rate, and overall, definitely something that's going to catch your eyes. For the most part, the LG Nitro HD managed to take some good-looking shots with its 8-megapixel autofocus camera. Now, it's not stellar, but good enough if you're going to use them for 4x6 printouts. Outdoors, details are rather average. Also has a cooler color reproduction, which is actually most prevalent indoors under artificial lighting, where it has a tendency to actually overexpose the shots. Low lighting conditions, of course, the overall tone of the images are rather grainy looking, softened too, and a little bit of digital noise. With the LED flash, it maintains a good balance of lighting, so it properly lights up the entire scenery. Well, it's more the same with the handset's 1080p high-definition video capture. They're not great, but more than tolerable to our eyes. We prefer using it for outdoor shots as opposed to indoor scenery under low lighting conditions just because its quality indoors, it's rather poor looking, to tell you the truth. Outdoors, though, it maintains some average-looking details, a cooler color reproduction, a consistent frame rate, too, so it's fairly smooth, but we notice some artifacting when you're panning the device very quickly or moving aggressively from various lighting conditions. We definitely like also the clear audio recording it has, and for the most part, it's more than acceptable. With the earpiece, voices have a little bit of grainy tone to them, so it makes it rather difficult to hear out. On the other end of the line, our callers didn't have any issues. They're greeted with natural and distinctive voices, no background noise on our end of the line, but when we switch to using the speakerphone, it is strong, but has a tendency to crackle a lot in the highest volume setting, and voices sound muffled. So inside of the LG Nitro HD, it packs an 1830 milliamp hour battery, which is above average compared to some other handsets. But unfortunately, battery life is still something we desire. We're able to get only 12 hours of normal usage on a single charge, which means that you're going to be constantly charging this guy whenever you can. So for $250 for the 2-year contract, the LG Nitro HD is indeed a respectable offering if you happen to have the money, even more if you live in a 4G LTE area, so you can take advantage of its speedy nature. But besides that, there isn't anything really groundbreaking with the device, just because with its features, we've seen it already on other handsets. For example, 720p displays we've seen already in the HTC Resound and Galaxy Nexus. We've already had two 4G LTE devices come out with AT&T, the HTC Vivid, and also the Resound. It's a balanced offering, a good amount of features, of course, nice package overall, very lightweight, but as we mentioned, nothing really fresh about it. Also, it has gingerbread right now, so it's anyone's guess when this guy's going to get an ice cream sandwich, so you might want to take that into consideration, but still a decent offering as we mentioned already. So if you'd like to learn more about the LG Nitro HD, you can check out our website, phonearena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching, everyone.